had to cut the radar cable, which isn't what I wanted to do, but nothing like early morning to go and pull your mast off.
Now is the nerve-wracking part when the mast is actually going to come off. Mast is on the ground.
Today in boating, nothing's a direct bolt in.
Woohoo! So good. So it's super windy. Tim noticed that this cat is just floating. Scary. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
This is life. It still blows my mind.
Hey there, I'm Kelsey, that's Tim, and this is the story of our adventure. Life is fleeting, and we want to squeeze every bit out of it. We are wandering the world, so home is a bit of a moving target for us. We love finding the random, the remote, and sharing it all with you. So subscribe to get lost with us and hopefully find some inspiration to go after your own dreams.
Welcome back! All right, last week left you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Not really, but the biggest project we had to perform to this boat before we went sailing was yet to come.
Yep.
Also the most expensive.
Yes, the reason we had not sailed this boat yet, in fact,
exactly.
was this.
During the inspection, the rigger found a couple of cracked swages, and so we did not want to take it out sailing and have the mast come down or something much more catastrophic.
Yeah.
So we decided to re-rig the boat, but we wanted to do as much of it as we could ourselves.
Yeah, save those man hours from the riggers and do it ourselves.
Exactly. The less man hours for the riggers, the less money it would cost us. So we got to work. So you can see all the wires that go right up into the mast. We've disconnected all those. I had to cut the radar cable, which isn't what I wanted to do, but there is no splice in it. It goes directly from the radar all the way down under all the bodywork to here, and then there's a big connector. So you can't pull it out that way. You'd have to go to the spreader and disconnect it from the radar and then pull it down through the mast, leave a mouse line in the mast and push it back through. Everyone's saying it's okay to put a junction box in, reconnect all 11 or 12 wires, ton of little wires in there, and you should be fine. So we'll find out later how that works. And then we're working on taking the boom off. So we're gonna put the boom on a couple of fenders and then ratchet it down in place here and just leave it with the boat when they take the mast. Kelsey's got all the lazy jacks off and then just the sail and the sail bag strapped to the boom. And I think what we'll do is use the main halyard to hold the weight of the boom and let it on. So we did as much of that prep as we possibly could, but it was time to do another job that's a constant when owning a boat, especially in the warm waters of Florida, cleaning the bottom. All right, going back in to clean the bottom a little bit because it's high tide, slack tide in about 45 minutes. So it's the cleanest water we get here in this part of the ICW. You can see all the little shrimp on there. So this thing smells about like you'd think week-old dead dried out shrimp would smell like. But the reason I'm wearing this and I'm gonna wear this on my head is to keep the shrimp out of my ears and everything. So, you know, your mask keeps them out of your eyes and your nose, but I really don't want these little shrimps crawling into my ears. So until we get some proper diving stuff like a hood and stuff, yeah, this'll keep it out enough. We've done it a couple times now and have had no shrimp in our ears.
How was it?
It's good. The shrimp aren't too happy that you're decimating their little home there, and they like sitting on top of the rudder there. So you scrape a section and they run away, and then they all come back. The bigger ones anyways come back. And there's some little hard barnacles forming. So
yeah,
the scraper was doing okay, but I think I need a dedicated plastic scraper just for the little barnacles. Everything else comes off really easy. And then right as I was finishing, I put the little scraper up there, and just beneath me is a sea turtle. So I love that it's clear enough now. This water can be black. Yeah. You can see nothing. But right now it's just clear enough. And that was the best ending to scraping the hull for, I don't know how long.
A little treat. Yeah, you were down there.
To kind of see.
Probably for a good hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, I could see putting another hour in, but I don't think I have it in me today.
Yeah.
And so at least it was a good start. And I could see the keels are hardest to get because obviously you have to hold your breath. And so just getting better at holding my breath is going to be huge. But everything else is pretty easy to get to. I'm amazed at how much growth is on the sail drives and the props. They're covered. And it's light growth, but I mean, again, you gotta, and that's where our water intake comes in. So I was trying to clean all those off, but it was interesting how much on top of that prop speed paint, which is super expensive, it's not at least hard. So maybe that's what it does. Yeah. But it was shocking how long the grasses are growing in a week and a half.
That's crazy.
So I think too, as the water heats up, it's only going to get more so.
How many shrimps do you have on you?
Oh God, I don't know. That's the other thing we noticed is these little pads. This one doesn't. It's more porous, and so you don't see as many. Yeah. Oh, and the dark color. But this smells like rotting seafood in like an hour. So delicious.
I'm gonna keep those outside. I think
a shower. Yeah.
Turn the music down just for a second. Unfortunately, you can't hear the music that we're listening to because we'll get a copyright claim. But even after a long, sort of stressful day, because we're just about to get the mast taken down and do the rigging, which is very expensive, it still blows my mind that this is where we are. There's yummy food cooking on a barbecue, and like, it's just amazing. This is life. It still blows my mind. So now we'll go back to listening to the good music that you can't hear because YouTube. So the next morning, it was time for us to take on our biggest project yet.
So off we headed to the boatyard where we're going to pull our mast. So here we go. Nothing like early morning to go and pull your mast off. A little scary for us. We've never done this. And wind's starting to kick up, but it's not bad. I think it's about 12 knots. So we'll see how it goes. I'm good.
Scariest part done. Tim did an amazing job driving in, nice and calm, perfect, and yeah, no drama. Exactly what we wanted. So I'm not sure that was the scariest part, but I think I was just taking everything one step at a time that day.
It was all kind of scary to us, but we decided to save money. We were going to actually do all the rigging in the water at the seawall with a crane overhead.
Yeah, which felt a little bit sketchy, but we trusted that the riggers knew what they were doing, so we got to work.
Yep.
Now is the nerve-wracking part when the mast is actually going to come off. mast is on the ground. Oh, it's stressful. It's gonna be so stressful to put it back up. It moves so much, but glad that's over. So our mast is now in the yard. Tim is running to the store.
Just doing errands. Got a new radio antenna.
Really, there's not much that we needed to do on the ground. We changed some light bulbs and lubed the wind instruments and took off the Australian TV antenna. But yeah, other than that, we just wait now. So it was really weird to see our boat that we had gotten used to with a mast, without a mast. It was very strange.
Absolutely. We motored back to our mooring, sort of with our neutered sailboat. And we had to wait until the rigging company had all the new rigging ready, and we didn't really know how long that was going to be. A day, 3 days. We were hoping for the sooner the better.
Yeah, because we were paying for our mast to be in the yard, so quicker was better for us.
And shockingly, you pay the same rate as a boat. So our mast is much taller than our boat is long, so it cost us more money to have the mast in the yard than the boat.
Yes. So while we were waiting for that to come back, we got to work on all the other projects we still had to do.
Yeah, there was plenty.
There always is. All right, today's kitchen project is some spice rack that I'm just gonna hang here to help organize all the little spices we have instead of having them in the cabinet. Works pretty well. Next on the list for today, and Tim is taking care of it, is installing a light in the head on the guest bathroom side. And it just didn't work, so we pulled it out today and it was the light that was gone, so he is installing a new light. What you doing down there?
Nothing. Just helping the water system pee all over the place. But we're gonna have cleaner water. So the tank is not terrible probably, but we have no idea what's really in there. And so we're putting a 0.5 micron carbon filter in line. For now, we're just gonna make the main tap the cleanest water. And then over time, what we're gonna do is, see right here, this is a saltwater tap that we just don't use, and we're gonna have a water maker. So we can put a separate tap for the slower running, because it's gotta go through a couple filters, drinking water. And then this will just be the full pressure sink. So for now though, I'm just gonna put an inline 20-inch, or I think it's a 10-inch actually, 10-inch carbon filter, 0.5 micron in the main line. That's what we're doing. All right, in today in boating, nothing's a direct bolt in, so that seems like a sensible size outlet for the wires, right? Nice and flat, and then that new one, giant exit hole. So we don't have a drill bit that's that size. I'm still collecting things. What's that, you say? That's an easy out. For you drill a hole in the center of a bolt, put this in, rotate it backwards, and it helps the bolt get out. But it's been a good wallerer, so I'm wallering.
So I have been working on, for the last 2 days, scrubbing the decks. And you saw we washed the whole boat before we left the boatyard with, soap and water. And realized quickly that there were a lot of stains that we hoped would just wash away, and they didn't. But I've found a solution, and while it's semi-cloudy out, I've been working up here trying to get all the stains out of the decks. And that means pretty much scrubbing every inch of it with like a toothbrush. So it's amazing. It looks so different, so it's really satisfying, but it is a ton of work.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Free water. Woo! So beautiful. And look at it's washing off now, rinsing away.
It's perfect.
Ah, feels good.
Have to watch the dinghy, make sure it doesn't get too full.
Yeah. Well, before we lift it, we'll definitely pull that drain plug.
Oh, feels good to cool off.
Feels so good.
So that nice cool rainstorm actually turned into one of the scarier moments we had on this mooring.
Yeah, I looked up and saw something bearing down on us that shouldn't have been.
A storm is just blowing through and a big blow just came through, and Tim noticed that this cat was just floating, so he is currently floating by us, and we're ready to hop in the dinghy and push him off of our boat. But scary. In the bag.
So this big 45-foot lagoon catamaran was bashing its way through the mooring field, hitting boats left and right.
Yeah.
Our main concern was it not hitting goose, but we did call it in to the Coast Guard and Sea Tow to make sure they knew there was a loose boat.
Yeah, this is not actually that uncommon in this area. There's a lot of derelict boats, so yeah, we're always on the lookout when the wind picks up. But enough of that.
It was time for us to get our mast back on and become a sailboat.
Woo! So we were just running around like crazy, because we just found out we need to go to the boatyard to put our mast back on, which is awesome because then we don't have to pay for 3 more days in the yard.
Yep. And so I think it'll be all good. They're going to do most of the hard work in terms of the mast. There's a construction barge, so we need to squeeze in there. I don't think it'll be a big deal, but we've got bumpers out this time just because it is tighter than it was when we went the last time. We're about 20 minutes or half an hour away from slack low tide, so it should be pretty, calm movement-wise. And there's very little breeze, thankfully.
Yeah.
So we're gonna head down there, and then I need to skateboard down the street and get flux because we have solder wire to solder on a new VHF connection at the top of the mast while it's down, but no flux and no Vaseline and none of the other things I Googled that you could use. So I'm gonna go down the street to the boat owner's warehouse. I think we'll be good. That's why we're going a bit early though, too, so we have more time. And once you pay for this slip, it's like
for 24 hours.
Yeah, it's $600. I saw the charge on a credit card for the honor of parking there and the crane use. So the crane use I understand being expensive, but so once we arrive, we got all the time in the world to get it done, thankfully.
Yep. Whew. It's actually nice that it's not bright sunny day. It's kind of overcast, so it's a little bit cooler, but still very humid. Definitely sweating. Always sweating.
On a mission to get flux. So, got to resolder the VHF connection. Mast is being wheeled to the boat. We just docked the boat and I need flux to be able to solder it. Almost back. Realizing how out of shape I am, but I got flux.
Here we go. It's going up. It's a little scary because the boat is moving more than it was last time. Not a lot. But yeah, it'll be nerve-wracking until it's kind of tightened down. And hours later, very, very sweaty.
Woo!
We have it mostly done.
Yes, so we have everything up. We need to do a lot of work now, rewire everything, run all the lines, get all the sails back on their tracks. I know I use all the wrong terms, sorry. But
concentrating on other things right now.
Yeah. But yeah, we got most of it done. There was the two, what are they called? Inferior or superior, right? Inferior shrouds? Is that what they were?
I don't know.
Maybe the right name, maybe not. That weren't the right length. The guy admitted when he had the office column, he put a mark 1 foot off. So not possible to use those two new ones. Those didn't have any cracks, so they're still okay. And by tomorrow or Monday, it's Friday today, so Saturday or Monday, we're hoping to dinghy them out to the boat and they'll go up in a bosun's chair and then fix those and then check tension on everything. But as it sits right now, we have a sailboat again, so that's nice.
Yep.
We just need to do all the work to get the sails back on the sailboat. And go grab our mooring right now, jump in the water because we are insanely dehydrated and very hot and looking forward to cooling down.
What's that? So we had a mast again. That was so exciting.
So exciting to be a sailboat again, and we wanted to go sailing so badly, but we had to wait for that last bit of rigging to be made and delivered. So in the meantime, we worked on our jib, which was looking kind of sad at the moment.
Yeah, I did a few repairs to it.
And we put the main back on. We're hoping we can get a little bit more time out of these sails before we need to get new ones.
Yep.
Pretty excited to see our sail.
It moves so much easier this time too. But we're just figuring out how it's all rigged up because I think the reefing lines were not in the correct spots because I don't know who did that at some point, but pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
It
Okay,
went
so
up so good.
a little bit of out haul.
Yeah, and then we just got to fix our reefing points a little.
Yep.
But this sail actually looks okay.
Yeah.
The jib is a little sad. This one looks better.
This one's better, yeah. Good, good. Yay, we have our sail up. And it looks as it should. Kind of a relief after all the surprises as we go.
So the riggers came a few days later and finished up their job.
Which means we can sail.
Yeah!
So join us next week when we actually get to see what this boat can do.
Yep, thanks for coming along, guys. Special thanks to our patrons, and we will see you all next week.
See you next week. Please send sun. There's no sun here. Whoa! That scared me. Whoa!
That scared me. 2, 1. Kelsey.
That.
Stop. There are a lot of derelict boats.
What's that bitch? A lot of derelict boats. Why? Why? I can't control the volume of my voice.
Liberty. Why can't I control my voice?
There was a loose. Well.
Best part, even though it's really hot or really sweaty, about being on a boat is this.